Over to you, Vice Chair.
Hello, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Maybe it's in the morning or in the afternoon. Good day to you. Welcome to another edition of CANTO Conversations, where we bring together industry leaders to discuss the ideas, technologies, and strategies that are shaping the future of ICT across the Caribbean. I'm Charles Douglas, Vice Chairman of CANTO, and it is my pleasure to serve you as moderator for today's discussion. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join us for what is going to be another engaging conversation. Also, it's going to be our final CANTO conversation session before we gather in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for CANTO conference and exhibition in August 9th through 12th, 2026. The topic for today's conversation is the freedom to build telecom your way. As operators across the Caribbean continue to modernize our networks, we're balancing the need to innovate with the realities of constraints budgets, evolving technologies, and increasing complexity complexity demands by customers. So for today, we're going to focus on how a modular, cloud-native networks and multi-vendor strategies can empower local operators to evolve on their own terms, avoiding vendor lock-in, optimizing investment, and deploying carrier-grade solutions that adapt to regional infrastructure and business models. We'll also examine how cloud-native architecture and AI-driven automation, what it realistically means for lean operators, and how the right core strategy can transform connectivity into a true competitive advantage for Caribbean operators. So our discussion today will take the format of a brief presentation just to contextualize the topic, to create a framework around it, and then we'll have a discussion, and then to be followed by questions that you may ask. You can put in the chat for us to respond to. Now, let me introduce today's speaker. Joining us today is Daniel Suardiaz. Daniel is the Chief Sales and AI Strategist at Summa Networks and trusted advisor to C-suite clients. He has over 20 years of experience delivering digital strategy, operational improvement, data and AI, and commercial growth across retail, automotive, and FMCG and B2B sectors. He combines a proven ability to translate business challenges into scalable digital solutions with hands-on experience driving cross-functional programs from concept to execution. At Summa Networks, he bridges commercial strategy and AI-driven innovation, applying the same discipline to help operators evolve their core networks. He is passionate about designing data-driven roadmaps, building lasting client relationships, and co-creating impactful outcomes. Now, Daniel at CANTO, a warm welcome. We are excited to have you, and it's a pleasure that you could join us, and we are looking forward to your insights. So tell us, where are you now? Which country are you in now?
Thanks, Charles. It is my pleasure. For me, it is the first time joining you, the great community of CANTO. From Summa, we are delighted to be part of this great community. I am currently based in Madrid. So, as you can imagine, it is running the World Cup. Spain is playing today in the evening. You're, I guess, morning, afternoon, depends on the part of the world you are at. Father of 3 kids as well. Lecturer at an MBA as well. So I'm fan of sports, mostly of the sunny Caribbean where you are. So great to have you, to be hosted here. I hope it is enrichful and fun for everyone, this conversation we're about to have.
No, absolutely. And I'm excited, and we will cheer for Spain today. I mean, great football, and we wish you all the best. Now, please make your presentation just to frame up the topic to help our audience to get context. Some would know more, some less. So I think there's value to that. And then afterwards, we will have our conversation. So over to you.
Thanks a lot. So let me share my screen for a little bit. I promise try to be tight and not making it long, but we are Summa Networks, and we want to be the next modular AI-driven core for mobile IoT and private networks, and MVNOs, MVNEs, and all for all our customers. So we love to see that we have an eye on pioneering smart connectivity in a way, because at the end, we are building software in a way, and AI, it is there, and everyone is talking about AI building software. And the crude reality is that when we were here and what we are doing at Summa Networks is that our customers are expecting something radically different when we build our products. But at the end, in a way, products look the same, but they are not. They have the same network functionalities, but when you dig in, we try to be really different. And why we said that, it is based on our modular component, and I will dig more into it. Okay. So our company was founded in 2015. We happen to be 10 years right now, and we celebrated late in December in 2025 at the Mobile Congress. We are part of a Enrich group, which is a huge group, but we drive our own strategy, and Rich is there to help us, supporting us in the financial and sales operations over there. We got more than 45 plus live customers, and we say plus because there are many other customers joining right now in Mexico and other parts of the world. And we are serving more than 100 million subscribers and growing right now. Mainly, we are based in Madrid and the Netherlands, thanks to Enrich Group, and we are certified by Red Hat, Dell Technologies, and we are ISO 27001 certified. And that is an important component when we talk about software and telco, I believe. And how we are and what is our challenge and mission. So we like to see that we are helping our customers to transition over the period of time through the waves of technology from 2G, 3G, 4G. We started, as you can see here, our company started with the HLR HSS, that is our product. Then we started to develop our AAA, PCRF, SEMSC, sorry for that, AAR, and then moving on standard coverage with our control plane to the 5G networks, standalone and non-standalone. And we have a unified database that is managing to do the interworking between the 3G, 4G, and the 5G. And right now we are developing our own AMS, and indeed entering in the peak gateways, because we see there, and that is a topic, Charles, that I'm sure that we are going to touch, that when we look at the market and we are trying to help our customers through our total cost of ownership, very controlled and resourced. So all our products we are able to deploy them on a single basis. So we are modular. So if you only need our HSS to be deployed, we can deploy that and do the interconnection with your all the systems that you have with the current vendors or whatever. So it is a self-paced evolution for our customers. We try to be there for future-proof investment. So whatever we are thinking of, we are compliant with the 3GPP standards and the any standards around our business domain, put it this way. And what is more important, it is our heart and in the core of the company, that we try to avoid any vendor lock-in. And this is very core for us. So we are not going to put you a closed box where everything you have to buy, it is deployed over there. No, we are relying on multi-vendor strategies. We understand that evolution is critical for our customers, and it is going to be, from our point of view, some kind of the future of that sense. We have a unified subscribers database, so we can do all the interworking, and it's reliable, and you can deploy it in bare metal, virtual machines, all our components are cloud native. It is geo redundant, so everything is over there to make our businesses, our customers' businesses secure, trustworthy, and against every casualty, put it this way. So that is what we are hoping. We want to be the favorite independent provider. So for our software data management and policy solutions for the 5G multi-vendor core elsewhere in the world. Right now, we have our modular solution, as I was saying, for LTE, HSS, AMS, 5G, non-standalone, standalone, and it's a single suite for covering from 2G, 5G, and it is very important that we have customers in the IoT space, VoLTE, voice over Wi-Fi enabled, and everything like that. Okay, so. And in that sense, you can only deploy our HLR, HSS, as I said, our AAA, our SMSAC, our light PCRF for VoLTE or voice over Wi-Fi, our full data quota management for PCRF, PCF, or the full mobile core in that sense. So this is what we are right now, and this is what we believe it is our value. So it is fully modular. We try to be focused on having a very clear and understandable business model for our customers. I must say that at Summa, we believe that we put that in our business model as well, and we can touch base a little bit after that, Charles, in our conversation, if you want, in that sense. And obviously, we are experimenting right now with our own IMS. And I must say that this is the first time we are developing our product with our AI strategy, and that it is with IMS cores, but we have already experimented and tried our connected to other IMS out there in the market. So we cover 45 plus customers from French Polynesia to Malaysia, as you can imagine. So we are worldwide there. We are supporting our customers 24/7, 365, and we try to leverage that position around there in the world. And our customers, and you can see that we are supporting tier 1 customers from various small niche operations. We have customers in deserts. We have customers in remote islands where we are deploying and we are giving connectivity to that single remote island. So we are very proud of what we are doing right now. So our experience with AI in that sense, and regarding my role, so we divide this into 2 streams. One is what we call the operational AI, and what we need to, and what we understood from our business and what we are at Summa is that first we need to enhance our software development life cycle through AI. And that will give us and will give our customers a better time to future competitiveness. We were able to shorten those time to markets and time to and requirements based on our customer needs. Because it's not only about the 3GPP standards, it is how good and how well and how fast we're able to ship that and to comply with our customer demands. And at the same time, we put AI on the operational processes. So we have agents to manage incidents in a predictive and maintenance way, triage of ticketing, so we can sort the downtime of our operational efficiencies right now. So for that, for us, it is not only a faster go-to-market, we are also trying, in that sense of total cost of ownership for our customers, having a better cost-effective solutions with automated operations. And then there is another stream that is AI at the core of our product. The vision is that mobile networks is going to be driven by AI, and that is a very futuristic and foresight vision from our understanding. So at the core would be AI surrounded by all these components and not the other way around. But what we see is that AI, it is going to have the ability to be the deflationary cost and more and reaching that hyper personalization for our customer to operate their core in that sense. Hopefully it's clear. So for us, it is we serve with AI for different purposes. So we use obviously like everyone else generative for our daily tasks, but it is not only about generative and doing that for coding. It is how we build security as well. It is how we build transparency, observability. We need to have those models audited. So not always we are using generative AI. We need more deterministic algorithms and AI machine learning tools to be there for our customers and be able to eliminate, improve, delegate, and automate certain functions around there. So yes, we had some bad experiences putting scripts out there in customers. We learned from that. We are building our harness vertically per product and horizontally as a business domain. And that is one critical aspect of what we are doing, okay? Because per product, the harness will have a function, how we set the rules, what are we trying to achieve, and then as a company and trying to benefit from the whole value stream of the process, how we map those consistencies across the whole evolution. So in that sense, what we are achieving right now is a 30% reduction in future time to market as an average. We are not there to fire anyone because of AI. That is, for us, it is the other way around. We are 40 people in the company, and that is AI is giving us a multiplier effect of 3 times on what we can achieve today. So we want to empower our people, and indeed, we are looking to onboard more senior people that being able to deploy and achieve new targets and new horizons in that sense. There is one thing that, as I was talking about harness, it is around quality. Quality is non-negotiable. So we are always looking around anything that we do with AI has to have an impact on quality, our test coverage, our links, everything that we do over there. Okay, so hopefully that is quite insightful in that sense. We are also looking to use AI, and we are doing that with automated logs, context recovery. We are sending all the information and do that and helping to achieve and recovery from any diagnostic by the agent in a better time to market. And obviously our policy is that we have the human on the loop. There is always an IT expert and telco expert that applies the most optimal solution, but always it is vigilant on what we are doing with AI that meets the standards, and it is focused on what we are trying to achieve. Okay, so in conclusion, we are trying to achieve a 50% reduction in ticket resolution over time in that sense, and that is our looking forward. So the biggest challenges and changes, it is financial, political, and many other things. So it is dependency on AI tokens usage, is around sovereignty as well. It is around efficiency on how we do it. It is around how we control that cost development, and it's around FinOps, observability, and everything that we do. And it cannot end up in bigger cost than the classical development. That is for sure on us. That is the way that we are going to support our customers, and that is a must for us in the future. So token optimization is coming strong, and we can see a future with small language models combined with large language models. So we have our own trained solutions in that sense to develop our products and features for our customers that we can pass that to our customers. But it is also around sovereignty, and that small language models can give you the empowerment and not to rely on third party or other countries' AIs, and put it in this way. So we are trying to avoid that dependency risk on that basis. Okay, and it's around moving from that service lock-in or product lock-in, that trusting on a single AI vendor. Okay, so, and more importantly is that our customers' data belongs to our customer. We must stay there. That data must belong to our customers. It is a unique, valuable asset that we must both parties enhance and get new value streams, new features, new ways of monetizing that in that sense. Okay, so Pendulous is shifting towards hardware and CapEx in a way we were seeing in not so long, not so back, and you were talking about that cloud native. And as we said, yeah, we are cloud native, and we can deploy any of our modular solutions in a cloud native environment and integrate those with any other vendor or system that you have in your house. But at the same time, we are looking at, it might be a shift in the sort of future that hardware and on-house and CapEx, it is going to become more importantly in a short period of time. So, yeah, results are excellent when driven by a telecom expert. And yes, it is all about context. So for us, the telco knowledge, the business knowledge, the domain expertise, it is going to be key no matter what. So knowledge is there, and knowledge is something that it is going to be at our core, and we are not going to put it this way, outsource that whatsoever. So context is the key, and other things, how we create the product and how we develop that. We do believe that it is a great place for companies like Summa to empower ourselves in developing those products. We know how to develop those. The thing is to make it those more efficient with a better time to market and be a reliable partner over time. So yeah, it is, AI can be the biggest creator of of today, but in the bad hands can be used very inadequately and can lead you to pretty bad stories. So for us, our senior people and empowering all the organization with AI, it is going to be a must. So we are using trio programming, and that is our senior people teaching our junior people, and at the same time, all combined with AI. So it's around not only what have you shipped with AI, what have you developed, or what product or what feature are you working on? Why is that? What are the key functions? How did you develop that? And why do you believe it is properly developed in that sense? So what's next? The challenge ahead. So for us is the pattern identification, recurring traffic, failure signatures across the install base, and then turn those into reusable detection and a good fix and a non-good fix. And as we said, that non-good fix has to be audible, transparent, and very consistent in a way for our customers. And our aim it is to prevent doing catch even that instability out there in our telco environment can, if we see any instability, it detected and acting ahead of time in that way. So the challenge ahead for us is a zero-touch telco operator. So it is self-diagnosed, human on the loop, but with own exceptions. So people handle the genuinely novel and not repetitive task. So they are there to drive the value for our business, the telco business. So agents resolve incidents end to end, but in the future we can foresee a no human in the path for those more standardized incidents and be predictive over time. So we have higher availability, less toil and things, and fully automated software development. That is how we see it. Okay, and how this impacts our customers. For us, the way we see it, it is AI, and for our customers, is ablation. We must embrace it. It is the biggest deflationary force in history, so it can bring a lot of value when reaching regions like the Caribbean and the CANTO partners. It can boost us to have our investments even more conscious and better place. So in that sense, it is a non-negotiable play as we see our telco industry. So telcos have OPEX to sales ratios of 80%, which is unsustainable. And that is a quote that Sebastian Barros said, ex-Edison situation. So for us, it is the way we see it, it is a time to break that situation over a period of time. Okay, so and that lies with to break the ties with classical vendors and its models, and it has to be more modular, time fully control of your network features, and to have the full power for differentiation over time, and that is going to be key. So but there is always a first temptation, in our humble opinion. It is to develop things further yourself. You should try, but we believe, like companies like us, we have a lot to say because we have developed these kind of modular solutions for the last 10 years or more. We know about innovation. We know about the way to develop that in a sustainable way and with full control of the full financial cycle and very optimized for our customers. So to realize that we focus on that value in the company over time. So I'm going to stop here because that was the time for a change, if I may, and I occupied sufficient time already, Charles. If you're okay, and we can start talking and having that conversation, and I hope it was insightful for you, Charles, as well.
No, Daniel, thank you very much for that comprehensive presentation. There's a lot to unpack and to
It
understand,
is.
and
It is.
but much appreciated, and it does reflect Summer's experience and expertise in the area. But let's try to have a conversation, right? To
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
maybe in next 20 to 30 minutes to
Yeah.
see how we can accentuate some of the things you've already said, and then perhaps uncover one or two of the areas that
Perfect.
you may not have highlighted. All right, so let me ask you the first tough question, right? We saw your vast clientele. I think you shared you had 100 million customers that you are serving. Very impressive, large scale. Do you have any business now in the Caribbean without naming any partners? Are you looking to break in the Caribbean, or you already have clients in the Caribbean?
We are looking to break in the Caribbean, in that sense, yes.
No, good question. Good, that's fine. So you
And
are bringing your expertise, and we thank you for turning your attention here. Welcome to CANTO, and using this
yeah,
platform, right? That's fine. So let
and
me ask you the next question then. So let's
but let me point one thing out. We got customers in French Polynesia, so at that sense, so we are quite familiar with the challenges on remote islands that can happen, and that relates to VoLTE, voice over Wi-Fi, how to give signals to remote communities on that sense at a very efficient cost on that
right.
basis.
And let's unpack that. Let's talk about it as we go. But no, thank you for being very, very clear on that. Obviously, you know that one of the challenges of the Caribbean is productivity, right?
Yeah.
When we compare with the global scale, we haven't been able to get our people as productive as elsewhere. Now, so my question is, so for CANTO conference this year, the theme is moving beyond connectivity toward global competitiveness.
Yeah.
And so from Summa Networks perspective, what does the network core have to do with the Caribbean being able to compete with the world?
That is a very good question. And you know the region much better than I do. But let me be humble and give you my perspective on that basis. So you have already solved the concept of being connected in the Caribbean. So 4G is widely deployed in places around the Caribbean over there. So you have the region comes with around 28 million unique mobile subscribers, but there is still a big gap there that we need to cover with not so many bigger penetration in other parts of the Caribbean in that sense. Okay, so it is not more the question about for me the question is the real question right now is, can an operator launch a new service? It is around industrial IoT, is around smart roaming, is around enterprise that offer it. And that has to be also, and we work related to that in not months, but weeks. So in our modular solution, what we are saying is like, we try to avoid any cross monolithic core that turns into a 12 to 18 months deployment. We are trying to build that on a modular solution with the right components to ship it in between 2 to 4 months. So you can bring that value faster and start innovating, because we don't think it's about the core components or the telco investment out there. You have it already. So for us, it's around discovering and enabling companies and people to do smart roaming, companies to start doing IoT business models, private networks for for the agricultural businesses. You've got a huge industry out there that you can leverage around that. So competitive now, it is not on how much network you have installed, but is how fast you can monetize what you have already done. That is my personal view. So in that sense, by bridging that modular solutions and doing that, we need to get the most of our CapEx investments already.
So that's very, very interesting. And so when you look at the Caribbean, when you look at the operators in the Caribbean, some are smaller than others, some are newer, some are more legacy. Do you see Summa Networks then as, engaging in that partnership and layering on top of infrastructure already built? And then the question is, who do you see participating? What level of CapEx do you need? What level of flexibility? Or are you thinking about replacing elements, say, within a legacy operator? But for a new upcoming operator, then you have a new build and you could design it. What does that look like for us if you've kind of scouted the region?
Let me untangle that question in different buckets. So yes, we have done a lot of rip and replace projects over there because they had legacy systems. They want to modernize that. They want to go through cloud native, but it's not the full core solution. They only want the HSS to move it to the cloud native to give that the power of scaling through the business in that sense and be more resilient, put it in this way. The other thing, so that is one part. So yes, we support new businesses, new MVNOs, and we are seeing that in parts of Africa, Nigeria, with new license over there. But we are empowering the current MVNOs, MVNEs, and mobile operators to be able to leverage that asset as well over the period of time. How we do that, it is at the core of our business model. We only charge for effective and subscribers. So it is more predictable. And how we call it a subscriber is when it enters in the mobile network. So we are not doing that per provisioned subscribers or provisioned SIMs, only charging for those that are active subscribers. So it is more transparent. You can control better your financial flow in that sense. And being able to do that, we can coverage from IoT solutions to B2C business models in a very different range of things, covering from few hundreds to few thousand subscribers to millions of subscribers, but in a very effective way in that sense. That is how we look at it. And that is what we believe it is a modular solution and a trustable partner should look like. We don't provision based on, doesn't matter for us if you have 2 nodes deployed. We are not going to charge you per hardware or machine deployed. We are going to charge you for effective active subscribers. And that is our core, and that is how we see that we can support regions like the Caribbean and associations like CANTO to get that competitiveness. And this is how you can have a more control and balance of your financial planning. Because
no, very good response, and that's very clear. And I'm happy you highlighted that. So Summa is really a partner for all and has flexibility depending on where you are in your development cycle. Let me ask this other question then. This idea about multi-vendor and being interoperable and not locked into any one vendor, what has been your experience? Because sometimes you partner with a very large vendor and they have their own suite of tools and applications that they want to use. Maybe if it's a Ericsson or it's a Huawei, large organizations. Some of the companies here engage with them. The question is, so do you find that vendors such as these genuinely are open to interoperability? Are they trying to resist it? And how does Summa overcome that challenge?
And that is a very fair question, Charles. And you know the answer probably better than I do. One thing is that we need to empower our customers, and we need to empower you as mobile operators or MVNOs to make that happen. So we've been and we have projects all over the world integrating ourselves with Huawei, Ericsson's, Nokia's, or whoever out there, and we have that experience. So at the end, whether we like it or not, it is going to happen, because at the end, you with your infrastructure, you really need to look after your business, and we as a trustable partner, we really are there to support the value of your business. We need to stick on what we do better, and not to do a kind of this product or service lock-in. From my perspective, that is not going to survive in the longer run, because at the end, we were talking about AI. If you get this feeling that I'm having a product lock-in or a service lock-in, the question with AI is going to be why I don't build it myself and get that freedom out there. There are drawbacks over there, the speed to innovation, because at the end, when you have 45 customers worldwide, you get lots of inputs to be able to deliver innovation worldwide at the speed and at the scale. While you do it alone, you are not going to get that. And that is coming from the cloud as well, in a sense. Okay. But yeah, we have a lot
But
of
let me
experience.
ask, it's a very good answer, but let me ask this. So, because you really have international experience, right? You have 100
Yep.
million customers, right? You are playing in the big leagues, and you were involved in Mobile World Congress
Yep.
and those platforms. So, but when you're in Europe or internationally, you get cooperation from these vendors for your solution and interoperability. You don't, that's the sense I get. If you have that many customers, with the Nokias of the world and Ericsson's and so on, would you say in Europe and elsewhere, you have partnerships and it's very interoperability? So it's just
We
a matter of
have
bringing that to the
partners, and
Caribbean.
we have partnered with Nokia, we have partnered with Axio, we have partnered with IMS providers, we have partnered with connectivity providers, because we are not there in that sense, and many other fronts. So the answer, and very short answer and very straight, is yes.
Yes,
And
yes, yes, yes.
and put it this way, we are willing to do it even more. So yes, we are looking at deploying our full core, but still we will have partners below the line, above the line, on other parts. We are not going to develop our OSS. We are not going to develop our BSS. That is not our business. It is beyond our business, and we need to integrate there with those partners that they know how to do that effectively and consciously well for our customers as well. So yes.
No, very good. And I'll just take this moment to just invite our listeners, anybody who wants to put a question in the chat, please
Yeah.
do so, and
Yeah.
I will take the opportunity to ask Daniel as well. So we know we have a question and answer at the end, but we don't have to. You could send me your questions now, post your questions, and I'll do to the best of my ability to ask them. So all right, Daniel. So good going so far. I'm enjoying the conversation. Question. So we're talking about AI, and I think you spoke to it, but I still just briefly ask it, right? So thin margins, modest ARPUs, um, you know, intermittent natural disasters, hurricanes, recovery, that's the region, right? You
Yep.
have those risks. You have to do a rebuild and so on. I think you spoke to it, but I'll ask. So is the investment in this sort of cutting edge technology and AI, is there a payoff? You kind of said it in the sense that you said you don't charge just for functionality or nodes connected and so on. You do it based on customers. So is
Yeah.
that the answer? Because the question is, you hear about the people investing in AI tools and elements, but the return isn't following as anticipated. The growth rates that they're experiencing, even though they're putting in the technology, is that to dissuade operators from going in? Should they wait to observe to see how it plays out first and then they come in? Or what's your word to them? No, you should make the innovation now, make the change now because the road ahead is bright. What's your message?
My message is very simple. The road ahead is bright, but we need to be clever using that. I'm not going to sell you tokens. At the core of my business is to still support you to have active subscribers and increasing that ARPU. Voice over Wi-Fi probably is going to have a huge play, and we can innovate a lot over there in remote islands. Smart roaming, put it this way, the lovable MVNO where we tailor a hyper-personalized service for our customers, because that could be enabled by AI in that sense and drive ARPU effectively. But we cannot survive, and we will not survive, and that is what we believe at Summa, if the costs are going to increase due to a bad use of a technology. The technology is there. It is called AI, but we need to use it wisely to leverage our business. It is not going to be adopted by our consumers at any cost, put it this way. So it has to have value. It has to have value for you as association or MVNOs, MNOs, MVNEs, or whatever, and it has to have value for your customers as well. If there is no value, it is only going to increase the cost. And that is what I keep an eye on. So the total cost of ownership has to be meaningful, and it has to have a clear business value.
Very well. So in your engagement with clients, you would have that conversation, you would sort of provide advice to the consultancy to see end to end, what that program or roadmap of the partnership would look like and how the value would be delivered. And that would help customers. Do you offer that?
We do offer that, and we try to play transparently with our customers on that basis, how we develop our products. And you saw that in the slides. So we are not hiding, behind the scenes. It is how we are approaching that as our core strategy, and we make it transparent. Because we don't want to hide that, saying like, we are going to produce layoffs, and I'm going to be more efficient and more profitable in that sense at your cost. That is the wrong play for me to play at our business. We've been struggling with getting this value from this transition from 3G to 4G around voice or 5G. Voice is voice. So we were doing in core switches, and now we're doing with IMS and packet data. But is the customer willing to pay more? Probably the answer is no, it's voice. So we really need to be very transparent on how we engage with that, drive the efficiency, and leverage potential new use cases and ARPUs and business cases over there. Yep.
No, very well. And that's such a candid acknowledgement of what is required and transparent. I appreciate that, Daniel. Thank you so much for that. All right, let me switch gears a little bit, because you touched on data sovereignty.
Yep.
Yeah. And you touched on the use of AI and its reliance or incorporation with large learning models, and the idea that the Caribbean, through a partnership with Summa Networks, could ensure that such LLMs or data are sovereign to the Caribbean and protected within the Caribbean, and the value leverage for Caribbean data. Did I hear you correctly? And if not, correct me and just speak to that a little bit more.
You hear me correctly. This is not going to be immediately, but we do see the development of small language models to play a part in sovereignty and develop and train your learning models on that basis in a sovereignty way, because at the end, you are a critical infrastructure. Your assets are critical to the region. Your assets are critical to the countries that you are right now playing or putting your service over there. And data is also critical. So yes, we at Summa believe that data has to have a sovereign component. So in that sense, that is our future, how we want to play that in the near future. Obviously, there will be more complex tasks that we will be supporting and engaging with large language models for those new innovations and things like that that we cannot modelize with small language models, put it this way, or otherwise, or other forms of AI, because there's still a play for machine learning. There's still a play for our algorithms and to discover new ways of doing that in our networks. But it is going to play a core part of your business and your asset as well in that sense. Yes, Charles. That is what we believe, and that is what we as Summa believe as well. So we need to have that component to be translated into you in a very transparent way. Yeah.
No, that's very, very good, very enlightening, very positive, because the Caribbean is unique. It's different. Our geography, our risk profile, our experiences, and that information has value, and how we craft solutions to serve customers and improve access and so on has value. And any ability to harness that data and then be able to use and monetize it, other models are not, interact with the Caribbean. So is
So think
is
about the
is
next.
very something we need to think about. And if we scale it among all the operators, for example, it's a lot of information. Um, uh, and we just need to figure out what that looks like for the future. And we're all thinking about it without no prescribed solution yet. But already we can see the value in that. So thank you again for those insights. And trust you'll have a role to play in solving whatever we do in the end, right? Summa Networks will be able to partner with persons here and then get to a solution. All right, look, I enjoyed the conversation. We could keep talking on and on and on. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me ask you my final question, and then I'll go into the wrap up. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat yet. I haven't seen any question. Have you in the Q&A? Haven't seen any questions posted. So it means that maybe our conversation has been quite succinct and people are clear so far. Yeah, so what would you like to see in the Caribbean in the next 5 years? Summa's role, what does winning look like? Paint that picture for us. That's your last question.
It is, I'm going to state my dream, but I do see the Caribbean with an statement on no one is left behind. So that we empower, thanks to our telco business communities, countries, and the region, to gain not only efficiency, but reach new ways of competitiveness and we can say this because we have learned from other economies, probably bigger or not so small, but the legacy that we have right now at the Caribbean, it is not going to be a stopper. It is a full bright future for us. We still have many things to do for our communities. We really need to push the connectivity of the Caribbean and leverage that people to stay connected and bring new solutions and new business for the Caribbean. That is the way I see it. And moreover, when I say no one is left behind, I do see the telco business being the engine of a new Caribbean. Because it can empower technology, can empower people, it can attract people and talent to this technology and conquer new frontiers in that sense. So yeah, it is unique from my perspective. So it is a great
Fantastic.
lively.
Fantastic response. We're going to end on that note. Thank you, Daniel, so much for being here, for sharing all your valuable insights. We didn't have any questions. We asked a lot of questions. So I think I'm just going to move now into my wrap-up comments and closing
Before
comments.
you wrap up, let me state my biggest thank you to you, Charles, and to the CANTO Association for hosting us and hosting me. It is a great pleasure. We are always open to talk to you whenever you want. And I wish you the best for this new event that is going to happen, and Wanda from Summa is going to be there. So, yep.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And so we're going to appeal to everyone who is listening to make the final arrangements to attend the 41st Annual Conference and Trade Exhibition in Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. It's being held at the Hard Rock Hotel, and it's August 9th through 12th. It's going to be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to meeting in person, Daniel. I'm looking forward to that. So everyone, this really brings us to the close of today's CANTO conversation. Sincere thanks you again to our guest speaker, Daniel Swardias, for sharing his expertise and his perspectives today. Thank you for all of you for taking the time to stay on and to listen. And it's very clear that Summa has a role to play in deploying new technology, in giving operators flexibility to innovate, to make smarter investments, to build networks, and to satisfy the unique needs of our customers throughout the region. And so with this, I want to wrap. Look forward to seeing you next month in CANTO conference in Punta Cana, where we'll offer other important discussions, and we'll be able to meet in person. So until then, stay innovate, stay inspired, stay connected, and have a wonderful day wherever you are. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye, Daniel. We talk soon.
Bye-bye, Charles.
All right, bye-bye.